I'm here with Hugues, the senior producer for Ubisoft Singapore. Hugues, thank you for joining us. And you've been working on the Assassin's Creed franchise for quite a while now. Tell us a little bit about how things were when it first began, when Assassin's Creed first launched.
Right, so it's a long story. We are celebrating 10 years, and thanks very much for being so passionate still today. The story of Assassin's Creed was, its birth came from Prince of Persia. Initially, we wanted to take the Prince of Persia franchise a little bit further, and a team took it to the next stage, and in particular, it was open world. As they developed the first concept, they realized it was something new, something fresh. It had to be different. It was just the beginning, the early stage of a new intellectual property that was pitched in Paris to the HQ, and that's how the brand was born. At that point, it was just an open world game that was trying to be the next Prince of Persia.
Right. It's great that you mentioned Prince of Persia, because I grew up playing Prince of Persia, and you're right, it was one of the best platformers out there. And one thing that really stuck with me when I first played Assassin's Creed was the way the characters moved, jumping from rooftop to rooftop, the leap of faith.
The parkour.
The parkour, yeah. And that's inspired a lot of interest in the sport itself, parkour. How much of work actually went behind? Because that was more or less state of the art at that point in time. How much of work went behind putting all of that together?
It definitely was, and Ubisoft is a great company in the sense that it gives us a lot of creative freedom. And creative people often think design and art. Creative also means technology. And the animation system that came in with the first Assassin's Creed and sequentially the others, it's a combination of what we call TDG, which is a mix of tech, art, and design. And that allows the main character to climb everywhere, to move very fluidly, and to be able to do combat moves as well as parkour moves all at the same time in a very fluid manner.
Right. And speaking of design and talent in design, Ubisoft now has got a footprint in Asia. What do you think about the talent that's coming out from Asia in terms of production and design work?
We are always very impressed by the students or the newcomers that join Ubisoft Singapore. We have a studio at Ubisoft Chengdu. We are just starting Ubisoft Philippines, and we have fantastic candidates, and our recruitment pipe is full, and it's more a question of, wow, which one do we pick? We have great concept artists, great animators, and so on. The question is more the experience, because most of them have not necessarily worked with real-time engine, because they don't come from the game industry. They can come from the movie industry or from some diverse design, advertising backgrounds. And so it's more bringing them to our industry, giving them the time to adapt, to work together, and then we work a lot in collaboration, in particular with Montreal and Canadian studios.
Right.
So it's getting used to collaborating with big teams, with diverse cultures, and that's what gives us that edge and I think a competitive advantage. Once we succeed in all these different areas, we're becoming much more powerful and much more of a development force.
Right. And so you've got an office in Singapore, and Singapore's not exactly known to be, or at least it wasn't very much, to be an arts hub. Now we've always heard of a lot of talent coming out from Indonesia, the Philippines, maybe
Malaysia.
Malaysia, yeah. And these are people who've had their footprint even in the comics industry and a lot of design. Singapore, maybe not so much, maybe because of the culture itself. But what do you think about two things? Maybe one is the potential of growth for people who want to get into design and production in Singapore, and the talent that's coming out from the country itself.
So the potential is there. Singapore is a great hub. It has fantastic facilities, great schools. People are I find very sharp, to the point. You see the city is very vibrant. So yes, there is efficiency, but with that efficiency comes organization, drive, passion. And when they want something, they're able to go beyond that dream and try to make it happen.
Right.
And that's what we see. And that's why I think Singapore will go further than even the West world. I mean, around our office, there are already autonomous cars going around. In Europe, I don't think it will be allowed in the next 50 years. So that drive to go faster than everybody else is really helping.
Well, it was. Thank you very much for this interview. It's great meeting you.